Good day, man. This is Carlos Green with the Men's Power Connect, and I've got my co-host here with me, Coach Stan Maddox, and we've been doing the series on the Maximize Man, looking at different aspects of our bodies and the best way that we can take care of our bodies. We're hoping that this podcast series is really adding value to your life, and you're really walking away with some applicable things that you can do to make sure that your body is on 10 and you're doing whatever it takes to make sure that you're living in health and prosperity when it comes to your physical bodies. Now, you can see that we've got a little bit of a different type of platform that we're doing here today. Stan Maddox is actually at his facility, Rehab and Beyond. So I'm going to turn it over to Stan so that he can welcome you all and just say whatever he wants to about you guys. To
Thank
you
you,
all.
Carlos. Thank you, Carlos. I appreciate it, man. Hello, gentlemen. It's great to see you guys again. Definitely looking forward to getting into this segment here as far as giving you this information. So glad you guys are here. Glad to be a part of this, and let's go.
Let's go. We are excited about this one because one of the things that we are looking at is how do we get rid of the pills? We've got so many of our men, so many across the country who are taking pills, taking medicine on a daily, weekly basis, and tons of pills that that possibly you don't have to be on if you're really taking care of your body. So let me give the caveat right now. There are some pills that if your doctor has truly prescribed it and it's going to help you become a healthier person, then by all means take that medication, take those pills, but with the ultimate goal to say, how do I truly get off the pills? So when you're starting to talk to your physician, your primary care physician, provider, say, yeah, I'm taking the pills now, but what is the plan for me to get off the pills? And what can I do to get off the pills so that my body can truly be healing itself because I'm doing the right things for it? I'm going to turn it over to Stan now. Let's talk some statistics, Stans, on just pills and what that looks like, and then we'll get into some scripture as well.
Sure, absolutely. And just want to just kind of piggyback off what Carlos said. Taking those medications, some of the medications that you take can potentially have adverse effects. So I want to read you a statistic here real quick. And this is from the CDC, which is Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Adverse drug events cause approximately 1.3 million emergency department visits each year. About 350,000 patients each year need to be hospitalized, for further treatment after emergency visits for adverse drug events. People typically take more medications as they age, and the risk of adverse events may increase as more people take more medications. So, gentlemen, I want to cover something just real quick, Carlos. This is in
Mhm,
our
please.
wellness coach studies for my certification as a wellness coach. We talk about the term cocktail effect. I know some of our gentlemen here, if you, I know probably all of us in some point of our lives that have had cocktails, right?
Had a little
So,
cocktail
yeah,
mocktail.
so if you think about a cocktail, the actual definition of it, this is them, that bartender putting different alcohols in one drink
Hmm.
to partake in. So we use the term cocktail effect. So this is typically what happens if you go to your PCP, your primary care physician, and you have a particular issue that you're dealing with. Let's use high blood pressure, for instance. If you're dealing with high blood pressure, so your physician is may prescribe to you some medication that may help stabilize your blood pressures. However, that medication may have an adverse effect or side effect that is negative
Okay.
that they have to deal with. So, of course, let's say you're taking that medication, high blood pressure medication, to your next doctor visit. Let's say your next doctor visit is in 3 weeks. So now you go to the doctor and say, okay, I've been taking the medication as you prescribed, but I am feeling this adverse effect, this side effect from it. So now your physician potentially has to put you on another medication
Wow.
to offset that side effect. Now, gentlemen, if you look at this and this thing becomes a domino effect over the course of time, going in again, that particular second medication gives you an adverse effect, and now your doctor has to offset it with another medication there. That is the definitional term of cocktail effect. Now, that's what happens here is when you're on multiple medications and it's time for you to get off these medications, now it's a risk of your health, potentially your life for your
Mm,
physician to take you off all those medications at one period of time. Now it has to go through a system where they gradually take you off of these medications one by one just to see how your body responds to it. Because they may take you off of one. Let's say now you're up to maybe taking 3 to 5 medications
mhm.
because you're offsetting certain adverse effects and also trying to treat what initially was the issue in the first place, which was the high blood pressure.
Right.
Now you're at risk of being able to just come off all that medication. The physician won't do it that way. It's like, okay, we have to be very careful. If we take this away, this may cause some type of negative response to said patient. So I just want to cover that with you guys as far as the cocktail effect is concerned. So one of the most important things is to keep us from having to get put in that situation. And again, that's what me and Carlos want to just the information that we're conveying to you today in regards to that. So
And when we're talking about the cocktail effect there, I wanted to just go back to making sure that we understand the caveat that if your doctor has prescribed the medication, please go ahead and take the medication. But I feel like sometimes we don't go the extra step to say, how do we get off this medication? And what are some things, because you're the subject matter expert, physically that we can do to ensure that we're putting our bodies in the best position to get off the medication? So if we're talking about high blood pressure, if we're talking about the diabetes, if we're talking about other chronic illnesses or minor illnesses that we're experiencing, we should not get comfortable or lackadaisical in just taking the medication, because for me, and correct me if I'm wrong, Coach Stan Maddox, the pills are just a band-aid over the issues that we have, and they're just minimizing the symptoms that you are experiencing. And so we truly want to get to the place where we're dealing with the core root of the issue, the core root of the problem. Then that way you can start to live healthy again. So I'd love for you to kind of speak to that.
sure, absolutely. Guys, I will say this too. Please understand that your physicians, these ladies and men, are very busy.
Hmm.
The need for healthcare continues to grow, continues to increase. So the reason I want to say that initially is they're going to be dealing with a lot of patients, and typically they're going to be prescribing a lot of medication. So how do you make yourself stand out? Talk to your doctor. And now, when I say talk to your doctor, when you have that visit, it's not for say, hey, doc, who you taking for the Super Bowl this year, et
Right.
cetera, or my
But you
team,
could have that kind of
hey,
relationship
hey,
there. I have
right.
that with my urologist. We can talk about everything.
But and I think that's awesome. I think that's great. I said, but one thing I always focus on doing with our providers is respecting their time because it's so short. Because those again, those men and women are very busy.
Right.
So when it's your time, it's your placement of your slot. Let's talk about you and let's talk about your health because that's the most important thing at that particular time, that particular slot. So okay, let's talk about golf a little bit later on. Let's talk about other things later on with your doctor. Let's say, look, let's say to our doctor, uh, instead of what can I take, doctor, tell me what can I do.
Mm,
His or her mindset is going to change from what can I prescribe to
mm.
what can I advise. That's the place you want to get to. Again, make yourself stand out. Let your PCP, let your primary care physician, let your doctor know, hey, I'm not interested in being on this medication for the rest of my life. I'm not interested on increasing it next year as to what I'm taking right now. Understand, and going back to what you said, Carlos, yeah, absolutely. The medication is a band-aid. The medication is there for life preserving. It's to keep you from going to a place where your health gets worse. But
Right.
at the same time, it's not there for you to incorporate it into your day-to-day lifestyle for the rest of your life. It is, and if you look at it as being temporary, and you convey this information to your physician as it being temporary, it will change their mindset as far as giving you more medication or changing or adding other medications to it. So, okay, this person is focused on minimizing to eliminating the use of his medication. Now let's take this path with it.
Mhm. I am loving that that is only a temporary, that the pills and the medication is only a temporary fix to truly our long-term health. I want to tell a story about my own journey, but then I also want to talk about our bodies being a temple as well. So I had dealt with prostate cancer, and walking through that whole process about the medication that I needed to be on. For 18 months, I was on the shot called Oligard. Before I got on that shot, me and my urologist had some serious conversations about how long I would be on it, the side effects that I would actually feel from it. But my question was, what can I do to make sure that I'm putting myself in the best position so that I don't have to stay on this medication after the 18 months that you prescribed for me? What do I need to do? And it was so interesting. We were having that conversation. He said, well, you're going to, once you start taking the shot, then it's going to change your hormones and it's going to change your urge for, to get excited, to want to have sex, all of that. And he said, here's the best thing that you can do. And you're not going to feel like it, but here's the best thing that you can do: keep working out. You love tennis, keep playing tennis, because if you can put your body in the best position from a health perspective, then that's going to help the Oligard do its work, and you can come off of that in that prescribed period of time. I go through the 18 months. I am killing it trying to continue to work out, eat right, the whole 9 yards. I come off the Oligard, and he said it's going to take about 6 months for it to completely get out of your system. It got out of my system, and all my urges came back. I was still healthy. I was doing everything that he told me to do. So there was an action item that I took, and it was because he wanted me to stay in that physical health condition, making sure that I'm putting my body in the best position. So that was my story, and I love my urologist. Shout out to Dr. Vic. He's amazing. The second piece that I wanted to say is that the doctors can tell us what we need to do, but we have to own what we do. So if he's saying, and you're saying, Coach Stan Maddox, we need to work out, then we have to make sure that we're getting ourselves active and moving in order for us to get off the pills. That's all I was going to say on that. I'd love for you to speak to that.
Sure. And first off, I want to say this too. Thank you so much for being very transparent and sharing that story
Mm-hmm.
with us and the rest of the men that are viewing and listening right now.
Yeah.
Guys, I also want to say, you look right behind my background here, there's a sign up that says discipline.
Yes.
For me, that is what I want to see when I first walk into my clinic before I start the day. I want to always be reminded of the discipline, of what the things that you need to do to make yourself better in so many realms of the lives that we live. So just going piggybacking on what Carlos said, yeah, absolutely. If your physician says, "Hey, you need to exercise, you need to handle your life in a certain way," guys, we have to do that. We can't play around with that. We can't monkey around with that. This is something that is going to better your body, and this is you taking care of yourself. You have to understand this. You're the primary physician in your life. I know that we say PCPs all
Wow.
the
I
time.
love that statement. Say that again. You're the,
You're the primary physician in your life. When you
that's
go to sleep
a
at night,
hashtag. You're the primary physician in your life.
yes, Absolutely. When you go to sleep at night, when you wake up in the morning, you are with yourself. Every piece of food and every liquid that you drink, you are with yourself when you do this. So you need to be very mindful. This is your body.
Mm,
This is your temple, as Carlos said earlier. You have to make sure that you take care of your God-given temple. So it's your responsibility. Our physicians have a certain responsibility, but make no mistake about it, they cannot watch and oversee and micromanage thousands and thousands of people that they deal with. You shouldn't even expect our medical care providers to do that. You have to own this yourself, guys. You have to take care of this 100% yourself, and it goes to with food consumption and also exercise. So I want to
mhm.
just cover that too.
No, I love that with what you said there. So if you all are just tuning in, this is Carlos Green and Coach Dan Maddox with the Men's Power Connect. And we are talking about getting rid of the pills and what we can do and what our responsibility is in making sure that, again, we're putting ourselves in the best position to have the health that God has given us. And I feel like that our bodies, I know that our bodies is a temple. And what I love is it is the body can heal itself when it's in the right atmosphere, when it's in the right environment, when we treat it as the temple. There are two scriptures that I wanted to talk through. One is John 3, chapter 1 and 2. It says, "Beloved, I pray that all may go well with you and that you may be in good health as it goes well with your soul." And that is a blessing right there. And then the second one is from Ephesians 5:29. It says, "For no one ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes and cherishes it, just as Christ does the church." So if we're nourishing and cherishing our bodies, that means that it is a sacred temple, that whatever we put in our bodies, it's our makeup. I There was a documentary on that. It was absolutely crazy. I loved it. It's called "You Are What You Eat." It just came out this year, and I don't know if you've seen it, Coach Maddox, but it talks about the kind of food that you take into your bodies. And the participants that were in the study, some of them were having some health issues, and because they put them on in a controlled environment, they put them on a strict diet as well as exercise. And you could see the vast improvement that they had because they were so focused on making sure that they were treating their temples in the best possible light. And I know that that's what you do at Rehab and Beyond, is that they come in, it's not just physical therapy. You are putting their bodies through the much needed exercise that it requires as well.
Absolutely. Mind, body, and spirit, and also what we consume in our bodies.
Yeah.
Guys, if we're paying homage and thanking God for our creation on this great planet that we live on, we have to make sure that we take care of this temple.
Hmm.
100. So I want to say that.
Yeah. I would say then, for getting off the pills, we've talked about the scripture. You talked about the cocktail effect, which I absolutely love that. And if I just go back to that before we close out, in that cocktail effect, and you're saying that people are taking 3 to 5 medications per day, and we take more medication as we get older, that is not the norm. As we get older, we should become wiser about what we need to do to take care of our bodies. So, no, I can't run as fast as I used to 20 years ago, 30 years ago, but I can still run. I can still walk. I can still play tennis. I can still make decisions about what I put in my body when it comes to food. I can still make very informed decisions about when I go to bed so I can get the required amount of sleep that my body is longing for. I can still make sure that my meditation is good if I'm studying the word and if I'm reading the word and uh, if I'm doing those things, that's going to help me mentally as well as physically. If I'm in a community, just like I'm in with Coach Dan Maddox, that I'm around positive people that really have put their health as a priority, birds of a feather flock together. So if I am with Coach Stan Maddox and he is holding me accountable and he is being the example that I need, that's going to help my health so that I can lessen the medications I'm on and I can start to feel so much better because I'm walking through that process of taking ownership for my body, for my health, and for my temple.
Wow, wow. And Carlos, I think that's great. I like to speak on that. Association brings on assimilation.
Mm.
I want to add that to it.
You be saying those statements. I'm loving that. I love that.
Because as you come, it's almost like we're playing tennis, right? That's why you're a great tennis player. You shoot me the ball and boom, it comes up. So, but yeah, I definitely wanted to speak on that. Association brings on assimilation, guys. If you got a situation to where, let's speak on some of the diabetics. If you're taking insulin or
Mm.
some type of oral diabetic medication, something like that, it is not positive to say, hey, look, I'm going to go ahead and take my insulin shot now and then go to the bakery and get me a nice piece or slice of German chocolate cake. Guys, we're not using the medication to allow us to continue to eat poorly. That is
Mm.
not how this works 100%. And
Mm.
also, I want to speak on this too. Again, association brings on simulation. You have to connect with people that are just as in tune with improving their health as you are. Now, does this mean that you have to disassociate yourself with friends and relatives and loved ones that are not on the level of you? Actually, no, it doesn't mean that, but you need to spend more time with people that you want to be like. Because in a sense, and Denzel Washington actually shared this quote a long time ago. He said, if you hang around the barbershop long enough, pretty soon you're gonna get a haircut.
You're gonna get a haircut. Exactly.
I love that statement because if you hang around enough healthy people and you connect with enough people that are focused on minimizing or eliminating the use of medication, increasing their food consumption of healthy foods, and that are exercising on a regular basis, your body's going to change. You're going to transform. You're going to get better. So 100% it is association brings on assimilation.
I love that. I love that. And so we'll close this one out here on get rid of the pills. But I do want to encourage them because we were talking about the food. You had talked about in a recent episode that we did on, if you haven't heard it, guys, go and listen to this one. It's talking about going to the grocery store and the horseshoe effect, and that will help you in your eating. And now we're talking about things that we can do to get rid of the pills. And we've given you several different easy applicable things that you can do in order to put yourself in the best position to win here. So I'm Carlos Green with the Men's Power Connect. My co-host, loving him, Coach Stan Maddox. Stan, tell our audience where they can find you if they want to look you up.
Sure, absolutely. You can go to rehabandbeyond.org. That is our website. It's rehabandbeyond.org. That's our website. We actually service stroke and brain injury surviving community, but we also have a program there as far as the Well Care Fitness program that gets into the health coaching, fighting diabetes, high blood pressure, things of that nature. You can also find my book on Amazon.com. That is Coach Stan Maddox, Make Me Healthy, Make Me Happy. It's a chock full of information there as far as stuff that Carlos and I are speaking about as well. And you can also find me Facebook, Coach Stan Maddox as well. So I'm available. I'm here. Guys, let's continue to get better. Let's continue to be superheroes. That's what it's about.
I love that. And so you can also follow us on Men's Power Connect on all of our social medias. That would be in Instagram as well as Facebook and also on YouTube. Everything is Men's Power Connect. Thank you all again for tuning in. If you have any questions, just put them in the chat. We'll look to get back to you all on that. Let us know what you think about this. And if you want more information or want us to continue on in this healthcare series called The Maximized Man, we really appreciate it. Go out and encourage another brother. Thanks so much.
Time, man.
Peace, Coach.
Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure.
you. Always.